Welcome, hackers. Today we are going to discuss a long forgotten tool in Dungeons and Dragons, the treasure map. In older editions of Dungeons and Dragons, treasure maps were included in the loot tables and could be found in hidden compartments. This encouraged players to explore the area around them in the dungeon more thoroughly. But in 5th edition, I don't even see it on the treasure tables. At least I couldn't find it. So let's take a look at treasure maps. What is it? Why is it? And how do the players get it? Let's begin with the why. Who doesn't love a treasure hunt? They show up in film, television, and fantasy all the time. One of my all time favorite movies, The Goonies, is a story completely built around a treasure hunt with an old pirate map. Even movies like National Treasure is a treasure hunt, though the map isn't a traditional map. A treasure map builds on a universal human desire: wealth and riches. Many people go on crazy treasure hunts with nothing more than a rumor, but for those lucky enough to have a map, the allure of stacks of gold is almost unavoidable. Everyone lives the majority of their lives in a mundane grind of day to day activities. And a treasure map not only promises the adventures that we crave, but also the promise of a way out of that daily grind. How can we get these maps into the hands of our players? Well, there's a bunch of ways. As I stated before, in older versions of the game, treasure maps were included in the random treasure tables and could show up randomly in any place. At some point, someone made the map so they could find something, and it left their possession. When the party defeats a monster, they may find a map that was on a previous victim of the creature. Perhaps while exploring a tomb or a crypt, the players discover a map left by other tomb raiders. Maybe an ancestor drew the map because they were unable to continue the journey due to age or illness, and they leave it to the players as an inheritance. You could even have a shady vendor in town sell them the map with promises of riches. Maybe the map is delivered to the players by a pawn, secretly sent by their nemesis to draw them into a trap. Before we go into what the map is and what it looks like, let's also discuss what the word treasure actually means. Treasure is anything of value. Of course, it could be giant piles of gold and gems and magic items, but it could also be a lost library with valuable forgotten knowledge. It might be a powerful artifact, or it might be a book with the lineage of the royal line, proving once and for all that the king is not the rightful ruler. For something to be treasure, it just needs to be something that is valuable to someone. Now we know what treasure is. What is a map? Well, a map is anything that shows you where the treasure is located. Obviously, a paper map with an image of the surrounding area and a big X on the secret location is a prime example of a treasure map. But a set of directions could also be a map, like travel 3 days south until you reach the river, follow it upstream to the waterfall, then turn due west for 1 day. When you see the gnarled old tree on the giant boulder, you have reached the ancient tomb. A magical compass that always points to your heart's desire could be considered a map. Picture a set of interlocking dials that, when rotated a certain way, gives you a clue to the next location. At each location is a puzzle that, when solved, tells you how to align the dials to get to the next location. All of these are examples of treasure maps. Let me know in the comments if you have any other ideas on how you could create a map. So, what goes on the map? Well, if the map leads to treasure and it hasn't been found yet, then there must be some kind of code or cryptic symbols. Maps themselves are usually puzzles. Solving them isn't as easy as just going to the location and loading up your cart with riches. This means you can use this to have social encounters as the party does research or asks for help from someone with more knowledge than them on the subject. It could also lead to puzzles and problem solving as they try to decipher the clues on the map. Entire adventures can take place just trying to understand the map and where it leads before the players can leave on the next adventure to see where the map leads. Now the party has a map. They know where to go, or at least where to start. What's next? Following the map can be an adventure in itself as well. Traveling through difficult terrain like swamps and wild forests can be dangerous after all. If the treasure is still there at all, it must be hard to get to, or it would be gone already. There could be monsters on the way, or even a rival party that is also trying to find the treasure that might battle the party or lay traps along the way to stop or slow down the adventurers. This also allows players to enjoy one of the pillars of Dungeons and Dragons that often gets swept under the rug: exploration. Using survival skills, navigation checks, and investigation checks can give your players new ways to play the game that they don't get to do very often. Finally, the players have reached the treasure, or have they? What if the map only leads to the location that holds the treasure? Now they have to fight their way through the hordes of undead in the tomb before they can reap the rewards. The party might arrive only to find the crypt has already been looted, or that there is an even greater treasure that awaits them. The princess is found in another castle. Dang it, Bowser. However, you use treasure maps in your campaign, you can be sure that it will be a plot hook the party can't avoid. You can make it a plot point in your overall campaign or just a side quest, but the players will be excited when they get it. If you're feeling extra creative, you can even create a real world version. Bob World Builder has a great tutorial over on his channel, and I encourage you to check it out. I'll put a link in the video description below. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe, and even share it with your Dungeon Master to make sure that they include treasure maps in their next loot bundle. This also helps me defeat the CR18 algorithm. And until next time, keep on hacking the dungeon.